It just goes to show you how many people around the world have not been living authentically in alignment with their heart and soul. That's what I mean by authentic. And how I see this showing up economically right now, it's fascinating. Hey everybody, Julie Murphy here, and we are talking about real people, real lives, real talk, so that you can get to a place of real wealth. What do I mean by that? Well, real wealth is really coming from a place where you love your life. You're financially abundant. You're loving your job. Now, things move and shake. I get it, but it's about creating this harmony in your life. And the only way we get there is from a place of financial empowerment. And what is it that I'm talking about here? As I've been working with clients over the last few years, one of the things that's been really evident to me is that we went through the pandemic and people became empowered with their lives. It felt like the sky was falling, but the result of it is that it forced each and every one of us around the world to go inside. And we had to wrestle with what ways were we not plugging into the world authentically by our true selves. Caused a lot of conflict with our jobs, conflict with our spouses, conflict with our kids, conflict with our employers, conflict with our communities. Heck, the conflict is still going on, right? It just goes to show you how many people around the world have not been living authentically in alignment with their heart and soul. That's what I mean by authentic. And how I see this showing up economically right now, it's fascinating because there are two indicators for the majority of last year, economic indicators, the labor markets and consumer spending. Now, some of you may go, Jill, I don't know what the hell you're talking about. That's okay. I do know what I'm talking about. And what I mean is these areas of the economy were strong. While you listen to the news and the sky was falling, recession looming. And it's not that a recession's not looming, and it's not that the chances of a recession haven't increased. They have. They absolutely have. But did you know that 70% of the economy is based on the consumer? Interesting that they've been green. Now, granted, they just turned yellow, so the consumer is starting to get a little shaky. So what I'm here to tell you, and I'm talking to each and every one of you watching this video, it's time for you to stay in a place of your own personal empowerment. Do not give your power away to anything that is not in alignment with you. Because if you do, then you've lost control of your life. And you really can't control anything else around you. You can't control your boss. You can't control your kids, your spouse, your government. Like, those are things that you can't control. Now, you can influence if you are drawn to participate in something, right? But it has to be driven from your heart, not from your mind and your ego. Why is that? Because your heart has a magnetic force that goes over 8 miles, where the human mind, where the ego is, only goes for 2 feet. So it's super important for each and every one of us to stay in a place of personal empowerment. So how do we financially stay in a place of empowerment? Well, we do things like don't create debt. You know, during the pandemic, we had volumes and volumes of money chunking into savings accounts. Not only personally, but corporations did the same thing. We created this financial installation. We created our own reserves. We became, on some level, our own banks. We watched household debt come down, right? So the way you stay empowered is don't do anything that's going to shrink your bank account again, and don't do anything that's going to increase your debt again, because then you lose your power. And 100% of everything in this world, including our physical bodies, are energy. So what kind of energy do you want to put out there? Do you want to go back to the victim energy where you're, oh my God, I got all these bills to pay and these credit card debts and these car payments and the house payments and my kids and blah, 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 blah? Or do you want to stay in your empowerment and say, you know what, I could probably squeak another year or two out of my car and sock that money in the bank, right? Or I can, choose to put those debt payments on autopilot so I'm not really focusing on the debts that I already created because I'm just going to get rid of them. It's kind of like what I do with my alimony payments. Who likes paying alimony? I don't like paying alimony. So guess what? I don't emotionally tie into it. What I do is I have it come out of an entire different account that my paycheck goes into, part over here, part over here. This is Julie cleaning up her past and paying alimony. And this one is about the expansion of where Julie's going. And I don't even focus on that because it's just on autopilot and it's just clicking month by month. And I only have so many more months to go. But I don't give that energy. I give energy to what I want to create over here. This is the most important part. So it's about staying in your power and focusing on the parts that are expansive, not ones like your past that make you feel financially beat up, or the parts that don't make you feel good. You have a financial reality that you have. There is nothing you can do about it except take steps to financially right-ship yourself. And you may be somebody who's financially income affluent and asset affluent. I've met people that make $1 million a year that have $1.1 million in expenses, because the present moment of your lives is all about your cash flow. So this is about, if we go into a recession or you don't get the paycheck you need or inflation starts to get you, go to a place of empowerment and now make choices based on your awareness of what's coming in and what's going out. That's it. You may not like it and it might be tough choices, but guess what? You stay in your power and you don't stick your head in the sand like it's not going to happen. We only freak out about recessions. We only freak out about our employers potentially laying us off if we haven't created enough space for ourselves financially to be able to weather the storm. So it's time for all of us to stay in a place of empowerment and insulate ourselves. So take a look at what it is that you currently have and how can you choose to be more empowered? That's what I'm going to challenge you with today. So come join us on juliemurphy.com because we are all about financial empowerment and we will get you there. Thanks.